I want to talk about the Hydra changes that are coming that I think are going to make Bivald so much better. I don't know if you guys seen them. I don't know if you thought about this, but I'm going to be posting this video to YouTube. So everybody on YouTube, if you guys want to come by and see the Twitch stream, you can click the link down below on the YouTube video and you can swing by over there. But let me open this up. I'm going to share my screen. So check this out. This is the Hydra changes. This is just the embargo. Nothing important there. But the Hydra changes, the following stats will be decreased for all difficulties. HP, attack, and defense. The countdown of Mark of Hydra will be increased from 16 to 20 turns, while the damage required to interrupt digestion and free your champions will be decreased on every difficulty level except Nightmare, which doesn't matter to me because I only do hard on my main account and nothing at all on my free-to-play. Now, this next stuff is where it's important. I think Bivald is going to be literally so good, and you guys can let me know in the comments over there as well. But the Head of Mischief, the cooldown of its A2 skill, Spoils of Mistress, will be increased from 3 to 4 turns, which is great. Head of Wrath, the defense stat will be decreased for all difficulties in order to make this damage dealer head less tanky. Also great. But this right here, this bottom part, is going to be such a huge change to probably the most annoying head, at least in my opinion. Head of Decay. This head will no longer be immune to Provoke debuff. It'll still attack the champion with the lowest HP, and not the one who placed the Provoke on it. The A1 skill, Agonizing Jaw, will have priority over Provoke, but Provoke will neutralize its A2, Speed of Decay, and A3, Rotten Ward, which will be very helpful. Yes, very helpful indeed, because if we go over here, in case you guys don't remember what Head of Decay is, it's the one that does a cleansing. So Speed of Decay, remove all debuffs from all heads, then fill the turn meter of all heads by 30%, and Rotten Ward removes all debuffs from the head with the lowest HP, then places a life barrier on them for 4 turns. The life barrier cannot be removed or stolen. So basically, both of these abilities now won't be used if you have Bivald on the team. Bivald, Krisk is going to be amazing. Krisk is going to be even more OP than he already was. But Bivald, he initially, I think, was kind of, my initial impressions on him for Hydra was kind of like, meh, he's going to be okay, but nothing crazy. But now this change, I think he's going to be absolutely amazing because his A1, the Provoke debuff, can be placed even if this attack lands a weak hit. So if the Hydra Head of Decay is ever Magic Affinity, this can still be placed. If it's ever Hydra or Magic Affinity here, still can be placed. Provoke, Provoke, Provoke. Easy lockdown of Head of Decay, which is going to make the runs so much easier, I think, and makes an amazing champion. Plus, he has a Leech, AoE on all the other heads. Doesn't matter if it's a weak hit or not. So very, very good there. And some good shielding, some good healing. And you take less damage from heads under Provoke, which not really going to matter because I don't think Head of Decay actually hits that hard. Its main thing is just the cleanse, which was so annoying, at least for me and my teams. Working around this, plus having to work around all the other heads, made it a lot more complicated and a lot more RNG, a lot more frustrating than what it should be, versus now I can just have Krisk Provoke. I can have Bivald Provoke, which on my main account, unfortunately, I don't actually have. I'm not going for Bivald. I do have other Provoke options, and obviously you could go like Seeker, you could go Sandlash Survivor, you could go any other champion who has a Provoke on their A1 ability. So basically, anybody who you'd bring into Magma Dragon, you could bring against the new Head of Decay, but now they're actually going to do something, versus before, they really didn't do anything whatsoever because nobody could be provoked. So I think Bivald now, if he was decent or had some possible uses on Hydra, I think he's going to be so good. So either way, Bivald the Thorn went from being, in my opinion, to decent to now really good. So now we need book Vistix. Oh, that's one thing. Bivald, you will need to book him, obviously, if you want to use him, because you do have the buff and debuff chance, which honestly, a 50% chance is really good, and heals the ally with the lowest HP. You guys let me know. But I think he's going to be sick on Hydra now. And the assuming the Head of Decay is in the rotation. So if it's not, then obviously you're probably not going to be using Bivald. But the Head of Decay is in the most annoying rotations flat out. But he takes 11 books, not that crazy. But Vistix is also going to be viable as well. But Vistix is actually a solid champion all around. Like, she's a champion who, once you get her, you'll probably use her. I mean, decreased turn meter on the A1, decreased speed AoE on the A2, provoke and shield on the A3. So now she has some use on Hydra. 3-turn cooldown. So it's going to be a little bit difficult if you're bringing champions like Molly, champions who have a cooldown on the provoke. Granted, Molly is pretty decent as well because she boosts your turn meter when she's hit, and her provoke is 2 turns. So it's a 2-turn. That's not Molly. So Molly's provoke is 2 turns, or chance of placing provoke for 2 turns, and on a 3-turn cooldown. That's really good. So she can keep it up very often. She brings a res and then some turn meter increase whenever she's hit, so it could be useful. Maybe Molly finds some places in the Hydra now, but it's definitely going to open up some more ideas. Now, as far as the rest of the changes of the Hydra go, the Head of Mischief, and Head of Wrath. So the A2, the cooldown of its A2 skill, Spoils of Mischief. Let's see what that does, because I forget. I think I know what it does, but let's scroll down. Head of Mischief. So A2 applies a buff spread effect, taking all buffs from this head and placing them on all heads. Also, very, very annoying. So it's going to be 4 turns instead of 3. It's going to be awesome, even though I prefer for no buffs to be spread ever whatsoever, period. And the defense adjusted, so nice. But any Provoker now, I think, has a spot in Hydra. So may not matter before, but now Hydra may be less RNG, more controllable, more options and more answers for the stuff. But hopefully the adjustments of the HP, attack, and defense will allow for us to actually do stuff. I haven't even touched it on this free-to-play account. Like, I have had zero interest in trying Hydra on the free-to-play because I'm just going to get swiped one hit and die. I have no chance to really do stuff. But I think I might have some Provoke champions. I do. I have Sandlash Survivor, which now I may actually bring her up because she has a Provoke on the A1. Maybe I try to bring her, but I still need so many other things to actually do good on the Hydra. But that is what it is. I think the new changes are pretty nice, so I'm interested in seeing them actually come out. I wish I could test them out in the test server, but I don't think they have access. I don't think they've updated that, unfortunately.